folks, welcome to another one of our Firewire reviews. This time we're looking at probably one of the most interesting looking boards in the lineup, to be honest. I must admit this looks a lot better in the flesh than it did when I first checked it online. This is the Activator model. You can almost cut this into two halves. The front half is very similar to what we know as the Dominator. The rear half is completely different, something very new. You can really see those differences running through the tail, obviously very apparent. This is a 5.7 this board, so it's relatively small, 19.5 by 2.25. This is going to be a little pocket rocket for anything from say 2 to 3, maybe 4 foot. This board's going to absolutely fly in. The difference then between the Dominator and this model is obviously in this second half of the board. We've got this double wing tail down into more of a moon tail shape really. They call it a coffin tail. Whichever way you want to look at it, it's going to be quite progressive and it's going to work really well in pockety surf. Or if you're surfing average waves but you want to be surfing back in the pocket, it's going to fit in very nicely. It's moving away from the rounded wide tail of the Dominator, so you're not going to have quite as much speed and drive, but the Dominator would suit the more intermediate surfer, and this is going to work better for the slightly more either high performance surf or high performance surfer. The double wing is narrowing the tail very quickly. So in average surf with your back foot placed here, you've still got good thickness and width, so you've got good flotation, good drive, etc. As you step further and further back, you actually end up riding a relatively high performance thin tail, which is going to allow the board to turn much easier, much quicker, and really allow you to maximise tight in the pocket surfing, whether you're doing top turns, cutbacks, or even barrel riding. It's going to hold better than say the standard Dominator tail. So it's basically going to be a looser version, possibly slightly faster through the turns, and a hell of a lot more manoeuvrable from rail to rail. Very interesting tail shape, and again, as I said, it looks strange. It does look strange, but in the flesh it looks like it really will work. Rocker wise, from the front we're looking very much similar to the standard Dominator, possibly slightly more in the very tip of the nose, just to help this board in smaller, rampier waves, which obviously the tail shape is going to work better in. Underneath, relatively flat, right front, subtle single concave through this section of the board here, just pushing water through, but actually, to be quite honest, fairly flat throughout really. It's just going to be nice and fast. Rail edges, definitely a lot sharper through the tail section. Nice and rounded and smooth, quite far back to be fair with this model, so it's just going to allow the board to track through its turn when you're not maybe quite up to speed. It'll just be quite forgiving. And in terms of the longer models of this board, very forgiving with this tail shape. If you're riding with your back foot in this area, you've always got the width, flotation, speed, etc. But as you progress with the board, you've got the ability to step further back. So, I mean, this is available from 5.5 to 7.1, so in the longer models you're going to get a very progressive board. In the shorter models you're going to get a high performance board that's going to work really well in small average surf. It will still go when the waves are overhead, but it's going to lend itself best to smaller, pockety surf, and you'll maximise those kind of conditions. FST construction and obviously parabolic rail. It's going to keep the board lightweight, strong and responsive. Three things that are always going to help you surfing. But this is a brand new model, Activator. It looks a bit strange, but it looks like it will work very, very well. I think we'll be seeing a lot of these in the water this summer. Available online now. Thanks for watching.